I'm back for another tutorial with you guys. I have a black evening kind of smoky eye. I would like to think that this is more of a going out nighttime look. It's very dramatic lashes, subtle lips, so that way I don't really have to compete with the eyes for attention, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's a black smoky eye that fades into green at the top, and then there's a pop of green in the waterline. I've already contoured and highlighted my face. I cut that out of the video so it wouldn't be too long and you guys could get to the end and just see how I did my eyes and my lips, because I like the eye makeup and I want to make sure if you guys want to recreate it that you can see the entire thing. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this, and if you like this style of tutorial better than the other one. Otherwise I don't know unless someone gives me an opinion. But I hope you like the look that I created. So I will see you guys later in my next vid, and I hope you enjoy. After putting my foundation on and priming my eyelids, I'm starting off with my Naturally Pretty palette by IT Cosmetics, and I'm taking my Morphe E23 blending brush, and I'm going to pick up the color Sweetness in the palette and run it all through the middle of my crease. Next, on a Morphe 168 Bullet Crease brush, I'm going to go in and pick up the shade Tranquility from the same palette. It's a matte mid-tone green, like a lime color green, and I'm going to start to form the shape of a cut crease right above the natural crease of my eye. I'm building this up slowly, picking up a little of the product at a time and running it all the way to the tape I've applied. Next, on a Morphe M506 brush, I'm going to buff out the edges of the shade Tranquility in my crease. I'm buffing it upward to make it look a little more diffused and less harsh. Then going into my Self-Made Palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, on the same brush, I'm picking up the shade Hot Chocolate, and I'm focusing it in the outer V of my eye up against the tape, slowly diffusing it across the rest of my crease and into the outer 1/3 of my eyelid. Then on a Morphe G18, I'm going to buff the shade Tranquility and Hot Chocolate together to make the look more seamless and put together. On my Morphe E27, I'm going to buff the entire eye look in the crease so far to further blend it out. Then again on the Morphe 506, I'm going back into my IT Cosmetics palette, and I'm picking up the shade Tranquility again and further intensifying it throughout the upper part of my crease. Next, I'm taking a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Black Bean on a Morphe E32 shader brush. I'm going to pat this on the lid up to where our cut crease begins. I am using a patting motion to apply this, not a swiping motion. This will be the base for our next eyeshadow. Next, going into my Vice 4 palette, I'm going to pick up the shade Deadbeat. It's a sparkly black color on the same brush, and I'm going to pat it all over the lid over our black eyeshadow base. If you don't have the Vice 4 or any of these other palettes, you can use whatever similar colors you have. It'll produce the same effect. Going back to the M506, I'm picking up a little bit of Deadbeat and blending it into the crease to create more of a gradient effect. I'm also buffing it with my E27 again. After which, I'm going to go into my IT Cosmetics palette and pick up the shade Fate on the 506 brush and continue to work it in the crease over top of the other brown shade we applied. This is to further intensify the transition. It's a really dark, matte, warm brown shade. After buffing Fate into the crease, I'm going to pick up my M506 and go back into Tranquility to again re-intensify it in our cut crease above all of our other transition shades. Next, on a Morphe M507, I'm going to pick up the shade Isla or Isla It's the really shimmery green shade from my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It's a shiny pastel green, and I'm going to work that over top of Tranquility in the crease. This does require some blending with the 506 and the E27, and then I'm going to go in and further intensify it with a small concealer brush by Morphe as well. I really want that green sparkle to stand out in my cut crease. Next, on my Morphe E23 blending brush, I'm going to pick up the shade Buttery from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made Palette. It's a cream matte shade, and I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight. Then I'm going to use the Jordanna Cat Eye Eyeliner, it's a liquid liner, to create a small wing across my lid. I'm using the tape as the guide for my wing. Doing it this way makes for easy cleanup. After applying eyeliner, I can remove the tape. Next, going back into the shade Deadbeat, I'm going to use my Morphe E32 shader brush, the very edge of it, to smoke out my lower lash line with this dark shadow. I'm applying it as close to my lash line as possible. I'm then going to go back in with my M506 brush and buff out the shade Deadbeat under my lower lash line. I'm going to take this same brush and put it into the shade Hot Chocolate from my Anastasia palette to further buff out the shade Deadbeat and warm up my lower lash line. It makes the lash line look a little more smoky and gives it more dimension by applying both the black and the brown shade. Then taking my paddle brush again, or my concealer brush by Morphe, I'm going back into the shade Isla, and I'm applying it to the inner 1/3 of my tear duct. Then taking the shade Treasure, I'm applying this as an inner corner highlight. It's a shimmery champagne shadow. Next, taking a ColourPop pencil liner in the shade Zulu, I'm going to run this in my waterline. This eyeliner is a gorgeous pastel or seafoam green color. It's very unique. If you haven't tried the ColourPop eyeliners in pencil or in gel, I highly recommend them. Next, taking my Colossal Express Volume Mascara by Maybelline in the shade Black, I'm going to coat my upper and lower lashes before applying falsies. I'm then going to apply some Violet Voss false eyelashes in the style Sexy and I Know It. It's almost like a double stacked, very thick, wispy lash. Very dramatic effect on the eyes. Now that I've applied the rest of my face with highlighter and contour products and done my eyebrows, things like that, I can work on my lips. I'll be using the ColourPop Lippy Stick in the shade Tootsie to create a lip look that's slightly ombre. The Tootsie shade is going to be the darkest of the lip product colors that I use. It's a matte, grayish pencil. I'm using this to line and fill in my lips. Then taking the NYX Voltage lipstick in the shade Flutter Kiss. I am going to apply this to the middle of my Cupid's bow and the middle of my bottom lip. I didn't think that was light enough for an ombre, so I'm going to go over the top of it with a lipstick by Makeup Revolution. And also apply the Peach Gloss. It's one of their duo lipstick and gloss combos, and I'll link that down below for you guys. I can't remember the exact shade name. It definitely makes more of an ombre effect because it's a little bit lighter than Flutter Kiss by NYX. This is the completed look that I came up with. As I said before, I'm super impressed with it, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sure I'll be making more vids for you guys soon in the future. I'll see you later. Bye!